Well, good morning. Today I thought I'd read a poem from the first collection called The Least Obvious Evil Possible. And it had its origins one day when I was walking through the library and ran across a book on the history of chemistry. And within that book, I found the story of a man named Fritz Haber. From that, this poem sprang. So, the least obvious evil possible. And the epigram is from Haber himself. During peacetime, a scientist belongs to the world. But during wartime, he belongs to his country. At the second battle of Ypres, we learned what you had been doing in your lab. You little devil, you. Despite the Hague Convention of 1907, there in Kitchener's Wood, this was no manna that fell from heaven. No, with lungs set afire, the French crawled along the ground like blinded crabs. And you wanted to see it for yourself. After the disappointing outcome on the Russian front, where the bromide tear gas froze, you wanted to see it for yourself, strutting around in your new patriotic clothes. You wanted to see it, to watch the chemical spray from this deadly fountain. And you succeeded in the development of Haber's rule, reducing suffering and death to an algorithm, taking the guesswork out of it, removing all the indecision. You were nobody's fool, Haber, nobody's fool. Clara could not bear what you had done, or perhaps could not abide her restrictive role as the bride of Lucifer's alchemist, and by her own hand she died. It was her hand, but your service revolver, by which she was undone. I have heard your defense of your work, the argument that death is death and the method is of no consequence. Perhaps, like Faust, you would someday learn your work's provenance, and of course it wasn't just you. The whole bloody world had gone berserk. Thinking of the science of food production, they later gave you the prize, recognizing your work in the synthesis of ammonia from common gases. Can science ever be value-free? Can any study avoid morality's 40 lashes? Even if we could, should act and consequence be untied? How then do we measure the value of a man? How do we weigh the balance of a life? Do we look at the good left behind or the pain that was caused? Do we examine the average, the mean, or is this where all judgment withdraws? One cannot remove hubris with a surgical knife. I think I'll ask someone else. You're not my first choice. I didn't mention the attempt to extract gold from seawater. It seems a bit silly now, but no sillier than turning breath into death, or the slaughter of all those boys, all those boys.